But if I tell you how tall my tree is, I'm not going to show you where the branches reach, but the stalk of the tree why? Because the soil type is not right. The place so hard because the tree will grow as much as its root is spreading. So the palm tree must be in the right soil. The believer can only flourish if he or she is in the right soil. I feel like I could walk around the church and ask if you think you're in the right soil. You can only flourish if the soil has the nutrients required for you to grow. And God, through the psalmist, is saying that the righteous will not just grow, but will flourish, because my trees are growing, but they are not flourishing. And some believers, they are just existing, but they cannot flourish because they are not in the right soil. You see, in this place, I know the pastor of this church well. Pastor of this church, I know him well. For a very, very, very long time, I know him. Almost his whole life. Almost. And he asks God, when he has to preach, what do I preach that is necessary for your people? The reason why is because he cannot know what is right for them. He does not have the ability to individually identify the need of every saint in the assembly. But he knows the God who knows them all and knows how to take one message to fit the entire need of the body. The believer have got to be in the right soil. Let me tell you something. Some people are having a wonderful time Sunday morning in church. Whole day. And then the preacher comes up and begin to pump up your ego about we are the head and not the tail. We are above and not beneath. We are conquerors and overcomers and all that sort of stuff. But there's more that is needed in the soil than the positive. There's more that is needed in the soil than that just which makes our heart glad. So the believer, in order to flourish, must be in the right soil. Must be where you are getting what is necessary for you to grow and to flourish. So the palm tree flourishes best in sandy soil. Hence the reason mine's struggling. If you know, I decided to pray God that, Father, let them bear by age and not by height. So I will stoop down and score some coconut. I'm praying God. I say, I want to at least drink from these trees. Because I know the nuts. The one by my wife, sorry I got rid of those pictures. She was drinking one of the coconuts and I took out a picture from in front and you couldn't see her face. It was so wide. And the ones that from my right brother is the biggest shiny nuts you would ever see. Maybe that's why I'm preaching this message. But the soil content is of critical importance. Where does the believer flourish best? Where does the believer flourish best? The believer flourishes best in the church. You're hearing me? The believer flourishes best in the church. There are churches today and people today, believers, that do not believe in assembling themselves as the body. You see how we have homeschool? And a lot of Trinidadians, I don't know about Tobagonians, but a lot of Trinidadians are homeschooling their children because the school system and the bullying and all that goes on in the school, they are homeschooling their children so that their children are not corrupted. So now you have home churching, where the father is the pastor, the mother is the pastor's wife and ladies president, and one of the child is the youth leader. Sounding joking. But it's happening. But the believer can only flourish in the church. The believer cannot flourish outside of the church. They may grow and exist, but they cannot flourish. Look at Acts chapter 2. See, some of them might want to read beyond, but anyway, let me just take it from here. Acts chapter 2. So